How's it going, everyone? WallysOG here, and today I'm bringing you something that I finally encountered in iRacing. It was something that I would run into a lot on Gran Turismo, but I didn't really encounter it a whole lot on iRacing until now. It's been, I don't know, probably like a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months tops that I've really been like playing iRacing. This race was Global Miata at Summit Point. This was last week, something like that, or like one of the very last like times to do it. My whole goal for this race was to just gain safety rating, so I was kind of just sitting at the back. As you can see, other people didn't really have that same idea. I've recently kind of learned that safety rating, although it does matter, kind of doesn't really matter as much. I'm starting to realize that once I'm in D rank, like a lot of CBA rank or licensed people are in my lobbies, and I'm kind of like equating that as like skill, when realistically the I rating obviously is the skill part. So this is like a 700 rated lobby or 800 rated lobby, something like that, and there's a certain guy in here that's just not great. So what we did was we started off at the very back, or we tried to start off at the very back. A few people, I think 2 people started behind me, and then 1 started pit lane. And I wasn't really going for positions. I told myself at the beginning of this when I was recording, I'm like, I'm just gonna run the race. I'm not gonna fight people. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna let people pass me if I gain position somehow, something like that. I don't know. So we start 11th, and at the end of lap 1, we're 7th. So, I don't know, you might be able to see where this is going. There's another guy off the track right there, and that was 2nd place. And that's going to be a recurring theme for today. As you saw 2nd place get shoved off into turn 1, our antagonist for today's video was the reason why that person got shoved off into turn 1. I don't have any replay footage or anything like that to show you, like, anyone else until I'm actually behind them, which is kind of a spoiler because I do end up in a podium position after this. I don't finish in the podium position, but I end up in it at some point. It's more or less just kind of an interesting thing to see kind of the order drop, as anyone who's 2nd or 3rd kind of just seems to randomly appear at the bottom. Then again, not randomly for Mr. Houston in front of me here, as he goes a little wide on the 2nd to last turn, touches some grass, and unfortunately slows him down. So we gain another position at the end of lap 2. I think we're either 6th or 5th, one of the two. I can't exactly remember. We'll see here in a moment. We're gonna be 5th. Thank you, sir, for the confirmation there. And we will see our infamous hero, actually not hero here, the infamous one. He is up there currently in 2nd. It says that he's 1st on my relative, but it is the Agostino Monti guy, the green and black Miata up there. He is the most dirty person that I have encountered so far on iRacing. As you can see, 1st place kind of gets knocked off there. He tapped him in the back, just a little bit to upset him, this Amit Ors guy. And as you can see, Mr. Green and Black Miata is now just somehow in 1st place. Well, I mean, it's not somehow. He tapped the rear quarter panel of Amit, knocked him off a little bit, and gained the position. And now some people would say, you know what, sure, Rubbin's racing, or you know what, that's that's a little bit in stock car racing and whatnot. But let's just see if you have that same opinion when we get up here a few laps time. Now, I had been doing Summit Point a little bit, actually quite a bit last week, and I think I have either 1 or 2 videos on it now. I had been doing Summit Point a bit before this, so I was no stranger to this. That Isaiah dude, or not Isaiah, whoever was in front of me, whoever fourth place was, the Jared Heath guy. I don't know what happened with him. He just like outbraked himself. I panicked, like trying to avoid him. We see the handiwork of Agostino here as second place. I'm at Oars finally gets spun out again and forces the rest of us off track. And now we find ourselves in that podium position I was talking about. I know it says fifth on the relative, but realistically, it's down to Agostino, Isaiah, and myself. And it's basically going to be like this for the next, like, not 7 laps, until about lap 7, when I finally, like, actually catch up to them. But, I completely forgot what I was saying. But yeah, this is, like, the dirtiest guy that I've ever encountered. So, I say ever, but I have encountered so far now on iRacing. And I just... out of all, like, the clips and everything I see, I don't really see people being, like, this bad or anything like that. It's usually, like, the more, I guess, like, arcadey games. I'm gonna say Gran Turismo just because I experienced it. I have, like, 3 videos in my queue right now that I could be doing voiceover for that are, kind of in that category, but we see the fighting already starting here. And, you'll see this, the Agostino guy really likes to either tap the rear quarter panels to kind of pit you, or just knock you off a little bit to unsettle you if he's behind you. And if he's in front, he just drives like hell. And he'll just... He's not very fast. Like, he's kind of fast, but he's not very fast. I think his qualifying time was, like, maybe a 10th ahead of everyone else, realistically. But nothing super impressive. I keep getting, off track now because he keeps doing some stuff, but yeah, I mean, I've talked about it before in the past. You know, clean racing just, it helps you out in increasing the safety rating, and the safety rating in this game, I guess, realistically just kind of depends on, like, it's gonna put you in the higher rated lobbies, obviously, yeah, and the higher safety rating lobbies you get into is the less likelihood you'll get some asshole like this. But realistically, it's the I rating you want. The higher the I rating you get, the higher, like, split lobbies you're gonna find. I'm, like, 100% positive that this dude straight up, like, deliberately dropped himself on the straight to try and knock off either both of us, or at least this Isaiah dude. Because we're gonna see now, as you can already see, this is the start, because he stays here until lap 10. I'm gonna tell you right now. He stays behind this guy. We're looking at the next 4 laps right in front of us right now. It is this bad. I can see this guy. I know obviously he's gonna take him off. We've all been in these races before. You see this one guy just deliberately is on a warpath, and he will just take out everyone in his way. Like, you see it. It's a thing, we all know it. It's unfortunate, and I don't know why he's like this, but then again, at the same time, we are in the bottom splits, and we are in the very much lower rated lobbies. So, like, he's braking right there for the second to last turn when he definitely doesn't need to be. He goes for a super late block, just when I kind of look up the inside a little bit. He's, like, deliberately trying to just tap you just enough to spin you out where he can kind of recover. Like I said before, I wasn't trying to fight or anything like that. Like, I'm not going for any of these moves. Even then, like, after seeing this, I wasn't going for any of these moves. In my mind, in hindsight, I guess, I'm like, shit, I really wish I would have pit this guy at one point. Like, after seeing everything that I saw, I should have just spun this guy out, just because. And normally I do. And you might see at the end something else that does end up happening. But this guy, like, I hate people like this that just don't get the whole justice served thing for basically ruining everyone else's race. He cuts middle there for no reason. He's obviously going in. He did tap the driver's side quarter panel here on Isaiah going into that hairpin, but I think right now he's realizing that as long as I can stay with this dude for now, everything's fine. He's obviously going for taps because this guy is just... I don't know how he hasn't gotten disqualified on taps. Because I do have a disqualified video on here. I know that for a fact, and it's for like car contact and everything. Well, then again, I don't know if car contact like that close like really counts, or maybe it only counts as 1 or 2. But realistically, like the moves that this guy's doing is just just genuine dog shit. Like it really is. He kind of looks for an inside. He's just chilling now. At this point, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait till the last lap, and I'm going to knock this fool off. That's what he's thinking. That's what he's doing. And I'm kind of sitting here, just kind of biding my time. Go off track because I'm a cool guy. But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he's either going to take them both out, or I'm going to get P2 here. It's either P1, P2. I didn't see any other scenario in my mind for this race. Like, it's either he takes them both out, or he takes himself out. That's it. It doesn't turn out that way, unfortunately. But we're about to see, in another lap's time, what happens exactly. We're going to the penultimate lap. Isaiah does have a not very comfortable 6/10 gap, and I'm a second away from both of them. So at this point, I let them go. I accepted 3rd place here. In my mind, I accepted 3rd, and I kind of think I maybe should have just accepted it. Isaiah brakes a little bit early, like a lot earlier than he did in the other previous laps, and I think he might have been baiting Agostino into doing something here, but he didn't take the bait. I think his entire goal, because he could have knocked him off like several times before this, I think Agostino's whole goal was to just stick with him until the final lap, knock him off either turn 1 or right here, and then call it a day. I don't know what turn that is, but yeah. We're obviously going to figure out what happens, because we're heading up to it right now. And this is the part that really gets me, because I'm going to ask you, have you ever been in Agostino's position? Now, I don't know if in the beginning of the race someone pissed him off or anything like that, but I just cannot see that that's a thing, considering how many people that were up in the top 3 ended up spinning off randomly. Here's the start of everything. They go into T1, super late braking for both of them. He takes them both off. I'm thinking, okay, I get first here. If you look in my rearview mirror, he tried to cut across to block me. He tried it. I'm trying to break the toe as much as possible right now. I'm already out of slipstream range. I go off track a little bit, but I still don't think it was enough. Okay, so he is actually back in slipstream range at this point. But then this happens. You can literally still hear his engine going. Now, in hindsight, after watching this video a couple times, I really wish I would have just driven across the grass here and just taken him out. I should have. Now I ruined it for the guy behind me, who was just avoiding me. And now he's losing 2 more positions. And this is the result. So he takes off first place, who's been leading since lap 3 or 4, whatever it was, in a dirty ass move, literally pits me, and then wins the race. Like, obviously I'm going to spoil it. He wins the race. Now, it's after the fact, sure. And I was really considering actually just, like, exiting out right here. But, I really wanted to see if this guy was going to be dumb enough to stay in the lobby. Lo and behold, he did. I said a lot of things after what you're about to see, and I cut that. But I feel like maybe sort of he kind of got his hint, or at least I hope he got his hint. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night. Good day, good evening, morning, wherever you are. Bye.